Peep Grayson Allen's back screen. Peep it. Now, you see Brook Lopez point back to Middleton for that assist, for that pass. But that assist, low-key, really should go to Grayson Allen. Because that's one hell of a back screen. And since he's going down like he's cutting the curls right back and sets that back screen, that's great action by Milwaukee. It doesn't give Steph enough time to be able to communicate to Draymond that this back screen's coming. And so all Allen has to do is get in the right spot. Middleton delivers it on time. Boom. That's an assist that doesn't get checked in the box score. Hey, even though he missed, we know what Steph did at the end of this game. We know what Steph did this game. But the thing that Steph is so great at, which is kind of obvious, but I still really want to point it out, is that he's able to run off these screens. He's going super fast and whatnot, and is able to read it and react to it properly. So usually he's going to see somebody go over, he goes under, boom, he flares back underneath it, or to the other side of it, so now he has a cleaner look. It's hard for them to recover. Hey, now that right there, if Draymond went in the offseason, he said, let me just work on my float game. I promise you he can average 12 points per game. I promise you he can average 12 points per game. That's why I always say, you 4s or 5s, those players who are always setting these screens, slip into the rim, if you get this float game, you're going to get so many easy buckets. And it's not like you could just take it. You also got to work on it. Because then it's going to almost feel like a layup for real. Because once you get a good enough floater, it's just knocked down. It's just knocked down. And Draymond, if he worked on that, this helped Golden State a lot. Because that's another 5-6 points per night just off his float game. That's huge. Now, Pete Portis. Now, you see Holiday coming over, right? He's reading this weak side. He read that Steph is underneath. And he thinks Portis is setting this. But he's really not setting it. He's not on the same page with Holiday. Whereas if he did hit Curry right here, kept him underneath, boom, he'll be able to hit Connaughton in the corner clean. But he doesn't hit him. Portis is thinking that he may be able to get him underneath the rim. But they're just kind of not in sync. And that's how Curry's able to make a jump out on that. All right. Now, the thing with Draymond, I'll usually say, oh, don't load up your passes and whatnot because the defense has more time to be able to read it. But Draymond, when he loads us up, he does it super quick. And on top of that, he already knows the read. He sees that Poole's cutting and Portis is late on this help. He's not sitting on this help in the nail. So, Draymond's able to get this up quick, load it, and fire at the Poole. Poole goes straight up, gets this foul. You see that little detail by right there, that little step by Allen right there. Peep Allen. This little step that he's gonna take to drop back is gonna be what allows DiVincenzo to come off the screen and get a clean look. Notice it. I'm gonna pause it right there too. Boom. You see as he drops back, he kind of relaxes. Now he has to take another step up and then take that step up and then get over the screen. Because getting over the screen already takes a good amount of time itself. But now you add in that other step up, DiVincenzo's able to get even more space, and now you can't even run him off the line or try to funnel him down on this side where you got two players to help you. Hey, that's why you just need a float game. Now I want you to keep this possession in mind. I want you to notice how Lopez contests this. He's in the same spot the whole time, right? And a player like this, a great rim protector, great interior defender, you don't want to take them on when they're straight up and they're just in one spot. It's super. You're not gonna be able to get through them most times. And so boom, that's where your float game comes in. But I want you to notice here how we just go straight up and keep that in mind because I'm gonna show you another play later on. And I'm gonna show you when exactly you should attack a big like this. And by the way, I live stream all my breakdowns. So if you want to see these videos a day or two early or got any questions for me, want me to watch your film, make sure you go hit that link in the description, go follow, and also subscribe, like, and turn on notifications. Let's get right back to it. Notice how Jrue Holiday gets over this screen. I'm going to show you a couple of possessions, but notice how he's getting over these screens. Boom, steps up, slides, gets in that gap, makes it a little tougher for Poole. Then he gets over another one. And great way to recover right back to that role because you got to help the person that's helping you. And if it's not them, you just got to help the other person. Great recovery by Holiday. Way to not give up because most players will just stop right here and kind of just get back in front of the ball. He takes away that role. But I just mean to show these two possessions to show you that there's multiple ways to get over a screen. I might tell you that you got to push up into the hip and slide over. But then there's going to be other situations where you may have to get over it in a different manner. And notice in these cases that this one, Holiday kind of just slides, steps up, and then slides in that gap. And then let's get over to this next one. Notice how he has to turn his shoulders and gets in a complete sprint to get over that screen. There's going to be different situations it's going to call for that, but it's going to get natural. I don't want you to overthink it because basketball is too quick to think through stuff. Now, boom, this is the possession I was talking about with Lopez. This is the situation where you want to attack the big straight on. That shot blocker, this one you want to attack him straight on. Because notice how he gets here late on this help, and he has to take a couple steps to now then go up and contest. Because now if you go into his body and take on this contact, that's going to be a foul because they're going to say he jumps from A to B. And especially it's going to be hard to stop your momentum and go straight up when you're trying to come over on a step in, take a 1-2, go straight up. That's tough, especially at this speed. So you want to hit the big in this situation, draw that contact, and force pressure the ref to making a foul or calling that foul. Hey, now Lopez, he gets a lot of shot blocks. But he can also defend the perimeter just a little bit. And I can guarantee you this about his defense, is that he's not going to be faster than most of these bigs in the NBA. Like if you told him to do a straight-on sprint, whether it's lateral or linear, he's probably not going to, he may not be a lot of these bigs in the NBA. Most of them are really just athletic. But it just shows you that basketball, especially defense, specifically on-ball defense, it's about your ability to react and your ability to anticipate. You could be a great defender with anticipation and reaction, but no speed and quickness, but you can't be a good defender with just speed and quickness and the inability to react and anticipate. So those are really the two biggest keys to being a good defender. And that's what allows a player like Lopez and some of these other players you see aren't super athletic be able to still guard the ball very well. Hey, that's just gravity, bro. That's just gravity, bro. Look. Like, what? Like, you got Steph up here, but then, boom, you got Middleton and Drew. They see Steph get open, and now they just get their eyes on it. And then Middleton is just sleeping right here. Middleton is just sleeping. Mind you, I'm pretty sure this is off an offensive rebound as well. And that's the thing. Matching up off of offensive rebounds, you always want to try to exploit those opportunities because that's when it's going to be hardest for defense to match up because they're not used to calling out names when they see the team get an offensive rebound. They're kind of may just stand there. This may watch stuff go on like Middleton does right here. So if you get opportunities to attack off a offensive rebound, go and attack. And then Steph brought Holiday's attention, Middleton's attention. They didn't communicate, leaves Clay wide open. And that's the three that gets him going for this game. Hey, notice as soon as DiVincenzo caught this ball across half court, it's just like they just all were in sync. They're all in sync. Steph was filling out. Draymond was already seeing it. DiVincenzo's already know what's going on. DiVincenzo is a very underrated pickup for this squad. I knew he was going to be good for him at the start of the season, but he wasn't getting too much PT. Now you're seeing him get this playing time, and it's like, okay, he's really taking advantage of his opportunity. But boom, let's talk about Draymond now. Boom, runs straight down, and he finds Grayson Allen in transition and sets an off-ball screen. You rarely see players set screens in transition off the ball. That's rare. And now this is literally just Golden State's offense. And I don't know if we'll see an offense as smooth and as with so much motion and off-ball movement as we'll see in Golden State. In due time we will, but who knows when we will. Hey, I want you to listen to the commentary. Listen to what the commentator is saying. Listen.
He's been healthy pretty much.
Talking about Draymond.
He's played in 59 of the 67 games.
Played 59, 67 games this season. He's been healthy. Very next possession, he gets hurt. Bro, they just jinxed my guy Draymond, bro. They done jinxed him into getting an injury. They done just jinxed him into spraining an ankle. That is insane, bro. The very next possession, he gets hurt. The very next possession. It's not like it happened a quarter later, 2 minutes later, or the next game. The very next possession. And what's the coincidence, bro? What a coincidence. Hey, now I mean to say this. The first thing about Brook Lopez, he got by him, but he got back into play and got what should not be a block, but was listed as a block. And now let's take a look at this replay, and listen to the commentators once again. Listen.
Did it hit the glass first?
This is a goaltend.
Close. That's
It
a
is
good
close.
block to me.
No, I think he got it just before. That's good block.
It's not a good block. That is a goaltend. And the fact that these commentators seen this in slow motion, Jeff Van Gundy, Mike Breen, and Mark Jackson seen this in slow motion, and they all said this is a good block. Hey, at least y'all commentators, because if y'all ref, this game would still be cooked. This game would still be finished. Straight up. It'll just be finished. How do you see this in slow motion? Super slow motion, like you said right after this. And you still say it's not a goaltend. The world just might be cooked. That's why you need a floater once again. That's why you need a floater, so you don't get stuck in this little in-between area where you can't go and lay the ball up and you can't shoot a mid-range jumper. Boom, get your floater. Hey, just like Brook Lopez, Joe Ingles is not more athletic than most of these dudes in the league, but yet he's still a good on-ball defender. He's still a good on-ball defender. He has good hands. He's able to stay in front, and if you think he's not, look at his track record. Look what he's done in the past, especially in his years in Utah. And he still is now. Hey, now peep this, peep this. We know Steph isn't going to do all this off-ball movement. He's in the finals way to be able to cut, be able to get to the three. But his pace, I've always talked about pace. Pace is key. Pace is one of the most overlooked and not spoken about skills of basketball that everybody needs to have. And so you know Steph is going to try to set you up and get to where he wants to go. But the thing as a defender, this is so hard to guard because even though you know you're guarding Steph, there's going to be times where you get caught lacking. You're going to relax just a little too much. And then boom, Steph is not relaxed. He's just setting you up because he already knows he's going to go. He already knows what gaps he's got, where he could attack, where he could cut, where he's going to come off the screen. He's just making you relax for the chance that you're going to be a couple sets behind and now he gets to where he wants to go. And so since you're the defender, you're the person that's really reacting to the offensive player, you'll usually be behind like a step or two most times. But if you just completely fall asleep, you're done. Hey, peep that by Clay. Peep his hand, peep his hand. Peep Clay's hand. Right hand. Boom. Anytime somebody's driving on you, anytime you're coming over on help, make sure you always got a trace hand. That's why I call it a trace hand. The one that's not like on their hip or the one that's on the side of the ball that the player has, trace hand. Use that hand to trace the ball, whether they're going to go up into a shot, you can use it to contest, or they could go into a pass and you still trace that ball. Maybe you could get a deflection like Clay does right here. A trace hand. And if you're coming over on help, you can use both your hands as trace hands. One for a contest, one for a pass, and one for the passing lanes. That's a tricky situation. A tricky situation that could have been fixed with communication. You see, now this is a guard wing or guard screen, right? And so this is an action you could really switch. But Connaughton is in position to go over the screen because he believes most of the time that somebody's going to come up and set a screen, it's not going to be a guard. So he's going to go over, and it'll be a player that's going to be in drop like a Bobby Portis, and then it'll drop back, go over, and whatnot. That's their coverage. But it's a guard. So that you need to make sure you communicate on these switches, especially if you're capable of making these switches like right here. Connaughton switching with Javon Carter. Carter's got to make sure he communicates on this just a little earlier. If he did at all, because you seen how he tried to point out and it was too late. He already went over. Then he noticed it was Carter. Then he was like, go back. And then they kind of got in the in-between area. Now Thompson got some space to knock down the shot. Now notice this play right here. And notice what Jeff Van Gundy is about to say. Turn on the volume once again.
And sometimes Ingles comes off thinking pass
Listen.
instead of thinking score. And if you think score, the passes will open up.
Hey, can I have said it any better? If you're driving and thinking about passing, it's not going to go good because the defense comes over and wants to stop you because you're a scoring threat. If you drive and try to be a passing threat, they're already going to see it, and you're most likely going to end up turning the ball over. You got to make yourself a scoring threat because that's what they're going to take away. Make yourself legit attack the rim, going strong, going hard, and then they come over, then you make the play, you make the reads. Don't drive and think to pass. Drive and think to score. Then as you score, the passing lanes are going to open up. That left is tough. Now, See how he jumped off that left? Jumping off that outside foot and got to that outside hand. That outside foot allows him to be able to get his force and jump into Looney, hit him with that bump, and then that left hand, being the outside hand, allows him to be able to avoid that contest hand that Looney has, his right hand. And so whereas if you try to jump off his right foot and go with the left hand, it'll be harder for him to make that bump and stay controlled. That's why you need to be able to finish up with the same hand, same foot. Make sure you got that in your bag. Peep Jrue Holiday. This is great work by Jrue Holiday. Staying attached the whole time. Like I was saying, times you're gonna get caught sleeping, and there's gonna be times where they locked in. This was Jrue Holiday on this possession, tracking Curry the whole way through, since the start. Notice, screen, attached. Boom. He gets under that corner. He stays on that top side because he knows if anything he's gonna have to get a curl. Boom. Gets another one. Jumps it. Now leaves Ty Jerome in the area. I want you to notice this little thing about Middleton. Clock's going down. He steps up, forces Ty Jerome to go and attack the rim. Even though he kind of gets a good angle after that bump, he still lost that ball. You got to stop. Your read's not done. You came off this. You got two, but now you got help. Now you see this initially, but now you got to jump and kind of load that pass up. But you got to make sure you still maintain to make this read, even after you see a double, especially in a situation like this. Maintain this read on who's going to come over on this help. Because somebody's going to try to come over on the help since they doubled. So stay a little, just got to be a little more patient. Peep this little jit. Jit thought he was going to get some dap. Fam. Steph locked in. They need to win some games. Steph is locked in. And he ain't going to get no dap. Hey, DiVincenzo. Hey, when Wiggins comes back, then you got DiVincenzo coming off the bench. That's going to fill up a lot of gaps in that second unit. Or a few gaps in that second unit. Not a lot, but a few. It's going to be huge. Hey. Now this when Steph started just taking over. Making sure they don't lose this game. Now, boom. You see a drop coverage. He's got the attention of Lopez right now. And now Jrue in this situation, he gives the ball up. He should go back and get Curry. Because now Lopez, all he's doing in this drop is showing to get him back. Whereas Jrue thinks he's staying on the switch. And now he kind of drops back, relaxes for a second. Literally a split second. Relaxes. And then he's like, oh, shoot. Lopez is gone. I got to get back to Steph. That's all Steph needs to be able to knock that shot down. That's all he needs. Hey. And if you're trying to guard these handoffs, just in a drop, it's going to be super tough to guard. Because you got one person chasing. You just got to chase over or underneath. And then he gives a shot fake. And then you gone. It's super tough to guard. So the best way to do it is with the switch. But they don't really got that switch right now. They got Lopez on the floor. So you got to do what you got to do. Holiday, boom. I low-key thought this was going to be game. And I want to say it's about Jrue Holiday. His step-back game and his pull-up game is low-key overlooked and underrated. Like, if you really noticed, his pull-up game really smooth. And he has some smooth step-backs in his bag, too. Hey, Brook Lopez, 2.5 blocks per game. 2.5 blocks per game. You should always know that if you're going against this team and you hit in a spot where the help is going to come over, gotta wait a split second. I know they was trying to get the 2-for-1, but I know you had time to make one more pass. And then Holiday let the ball go, man. It's just a mistake. I can't break that down. It's just lackadaisical, just the error, bro. It happens. But it's right here. You know where Carter messed up? He messed up. He messed up the second that he opened up. Because let me tell you this. Boom. He opens up. Now that he opens up and he's not able to get back in front, Curry can literally just lead him directly into the step back that he did. Because now he's chasing. He's moving at more of a sprint. It's harder for him to be able to stop and be able to change directions. So now that he's opened up, Curry stops, gets a space. Over the top, he was already hot. So you already know he got to knock it down. That's the last possession. Steph come over on the help. Good verticality right there. Verticality. You seen him move, but that was from the bump by Holiday. So, good D by Steph. Hey, bro, if Draymond hit this shot, everybody knew when he let it go, ain't no way he was going to make it. But if he made it, Draymond would have held this on his hat for the rest of his career, man. It was like, I had the game winner. I had the game winning 3. He would have held that forever. I'm telling you, great defenders ain't gonna get caught slipping a couple times. Just a couple times. You know, it happens. We're humans. We're not always gonna be perfect. So in this situation right here, Jrue Holiday just held his weight on him on this first bump just a little too long, and that allows Klay to be able to make this spin right off of him, find his angle. You see how he held his weight right there? He spun right off his left arm. Right off his left, step through, no contest, easy bank shot.
And Chris Middleton's been at the scorer's table for a long time.
Hey, if the Warriors get this eighth seed, just know that drop coverages do not work. Denver, Nikola Jokic, drop coverages do not work on Stephen Curry if you have not realized, like he did to y'all last year. And regardless of the record, regardless of their road record, they can still get it going like this. So, that's all I'm going to say about that series. Drop coverages will not work. And Jokic can't do anything but a drop coverage or a blitz. But you know how goddamn tired it is to run a blitz every single time? And you know how many shooters they got? If you do want to run the blitz, you know you're going to be in rotation. You know you're going to leave open. You're going to end up leaving Klay Thompson open because you send in two. So everybody got to make sure they got their track legs on. Because if you're playing Golden State in that first round, it's not going to be as easy as people think it is. Hey, and boom. Curry's ability to navigate, get between gaps, not just being able to use his body, but also being able to manipulate the ball with his body so he can get through these gaps. It's something that not even just him, but a lot of guards nowadays with great handles like Kyrie or Darius Garland, any players you see get through gaps, even Donovan Mitchell, they're so good at this. And it's really about, like I was saying, knowing your body, knowing your movement, having a good handle, knowing your control. And that's the end of this video. Make sure you subscribe, like, turn on notifications. Make sure you go hit that link in the description. All my breakdowns are live, so make sure you go hit that follow. And we out of here.